Oh God, oh boy, this is gonna be a hot fucking mess. Vanderpump Rules. Listen, when it first came out, I was addicted to the TV show. It was a reality TV show about a bunch of people in their 20s working in a restaurant environment. And I used to work in a restaurant, so the drama that was going through was so good to watch. But better yet, it was mostly about these people in their 20s, you know, young adults, and the drama was between their circle group of friends. It was one of those things where, you know, it's like you could probably spend your time doing better things, but you just couldn't get enough of it. That is exactly how I felt when I was watching it. There is a lawsuit that's happening right now. It's between Rachel Leviss, who was formerly known as her reality TV star name Raquel Leviss. She's changed her name after some drama went down, but she's suing and she's going after Ariana Madix and her former, I think they were together for like 9 years, Tom Sandoval. Now, oh gosh, I'm just catching up with the whole SCANDOVAL thing. I know you guys are probably like, Corgi, you're so late. My brother has been in my ear about it for the last year and telling me all these updates, but I finally sat down, watched the episode. I have not watched the reunion yet. I'll get to that in a bit, but I've watched the episode and then I read the lawsuit and I was like, this is kind of interesting. You know, since I've been a fan of the TV show for a very long time, I might as well cover it. However, I will say though, the TV show has changed a lot, well, especially in their cast and crew members. I just haven't really been watching Vanderpump Rules in the past couple of years. It's just been kind of meh. I think the last season I watched was the one where Stassi came back and she just had a complete meltdown, as always, with her alcoholic drinking tirade. I'm sort of pulled back in. Am I gonna rewatch the new season? I tried to, but I just wasn't interested in it. But let's get into the lawsuit. And I do have a lot of questions for this lawsuit because it's only directed at Ariana and Tom Sandoval. In the lawsuit, I'm like, maybe there's some other people that should be included as well, or companies or production. Should I wear my glasses? I think I might need to wear my glasses. Oh God, I hate when I'm reading files because the screen is white and it makes my face way brighter. But you know what? Let's do the glasses, Corgi. I hope you guys are having a good weekend, by the way. Hello, hello. I have so many things I need to record today. Woo, okay, this being one of them. Alrighty, y'all. Attorneys for plaintiff Rachel, I think it's Rachel Leviss. Okay. So we got eavesdropping, revenge, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, jury trial demanded. We have plaintiff Rachel Leviss is a former cast member on Vanderpump Rules, a reality TV show produced by Evolution Media and broadcast by Bravo, an asset of NBC. This case arises from a scandal of epic proportions starting in March 2000. Oh my God, this was a year ago. Oh my God, I can't believe time has passed by so quickly. I think it was almost a year ago, literally a year ago, when this whole thing was unfolding. All right, March 2023, stemming from an affair between Leviss and another cast member, Tom Sandoval. SCANDOVAL, as it became to be known, went instantly viral and was the subject of extraordinary press coverage even in the mainstream media. SCANDOVAL injected new life into a previously faltering series. I don't know if that's true or not, but I certainly was not having interest in Vanderpump Rules anymore. I was just like, it's whatever's. Causing its viewership to explode to unseen levels and making its cast members mega celebrities due to a narrative deliberately fomented, that's like instigated, right? By Bravo, Evolution, and the cast. Leviss became the object of public scorn and ridicule. I'm sorry. Number 2, to be clear, Leviss has repeatedly acknowledged that her actions were morally objectionable and hurtful to Madix. She has offered numerous apologies, and there is more to the story. However, lost in the mix was that Leviss was the victim of a predatory and dishonest behavior of an older man. Oh my gosh. You know, Sandoval's dying this year now to hear the part older man. I think he was having a meltdown with turning 40 years old and he felt like he was, I don't know, like an old worn dog that he lost his mojo or something. I think it was mentioned in the episode that I later just watched. Anyways, who recorded sexually explicit videos of her without her knowledge or consent. Yikes. Which were then distributed, disseminated, and discussed publicly by a scorned woman seeking vengeance, catalyzing the scandal. Leviss ultimately checked herself into the mental health facility and remained there for 3 months before, I didn't remember hearing about that, while Bravo, Evolution, and the cast milked the interest her excoriation had peaked. Number 3, to make matters worse, Leviss was misled by Bravo and Evolution to believing that she was contractually barred from speaking out about her mistreatment. As a result, she suffered in silence as Bravo, Evolution watched viewership explode and the rest of the cast enjoyed unseen levels of public recognition and professional opportunity. Meanwhile, Leviss, who was humiliated humiliated, and villainized for public consumption, remains a shell of her former self with her career prospects stunted and her reputation in tatters. I wonder if they asked her to come back to the show. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Number 4, having taken the time necessary to heal mentally and emotionally, Leviss brings this action at long last to attain a measure of justice that has so far eluded her. All right, so we got the parties here, and I'm like, I can't believe she's only going after Tom and Ariana, because this lawsuit listed some other stuff as well. I did a little quick browse of it. So we have Tom Sandoval, we have Ariana Madix. Got the jurisdiction, probably in LA. All right, general allegations. A, the hostile and unsafe working environment on Vanderpump Rules. This case centers on Vanderpump Rules, a reality TV show that premiered on Bravo in 2013. The series revolves around the staff at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant at West Hollywood, Star Restaurant, Pump, Tom Tom, Bar Vanderpump, British restaurateur, and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member, is a central figure of the series, which focuses on her employees' drama-filled personal and professional lives. The show was aired continuously for a decade, and its 11th season premiered on January 30th, 2024. Leviss was a cast member on Vanderpump Rules from 2016 to 2023. Leviss made her first appearance on the show as the girlfriend of cast member James Kennedy, who, I wish the best for James Kennedy, but he was always such a hot mess on the show with the drunk and stuff and the anger issues and the outbursts. So I hope he's changed now. I hope he's done better for himself. A DJ prone to violent outbursts and grappling with long-standing substance abuse issues and emotional dysregulation. Yep, sounds about right. Kennedy would regularly berate Leviss, definitely saw that on taping, falsely accuse her of cheating, and act in a generally unhinged manner. I like seeing the word unhinged in a lawsuit. Some of this was captured on camera, some was not. Leviss eventually warned Kennedy that she would leave him if he did not stop drinking. However, she soon learned that his despicable behavior was not solely the function of alcohol abuse. At Thanksgiving with Leviss's family in Arizona, Kennedy erupted at Leviss's mother and father and kicked her family dog 4 times in uncontrollable rage. Oh no. In 2021, Leviss ended their relationship and broke off their engagement. Because I remember there was an episode where James Kennedy did a Rochella. He wanted to, I think he was proposing to her, and then he made this whole Rochella thing, supposed to be like Coachella, and it looked very interesting. Kennedy's history of violent and dangerous behavior was well known by Bravo, Evolution, and the cast, and by Lisa Vanderpump. Kennedy once physically assaulted then cast member Kristen Doty on camera. The footage, I remember hearing about that. The footage, however, never aired, nor has Kennedy faced any repercussions for his actions, which would otherwise be fireable at a minimum, due in part in the intervention of his powerful ally, Lisa Vanderpump, who has served as his protector. Yeah, I felt like she was coddling him a lot, giving him lots of chances. In 2021, after 3 seasons as a recurring character, Leviss was cast as a lead. At the same time, however, Leviss was in a vulnerable state due to the breakdown of her engagement with Kennedy, which was catalyzed by his chronic abuse, substance abuse, emotional instability, and controlling behavior. While she had previously moderated her alcohol intake because of Kennedy's heavy drinking, Leviss began drinking much more heavily in the aftermath of their breakup. Leviss was encouraged to do so by production and Sandoval, who believed it would make it for better television and readily provided alcohol for her consumption. Oh, here we go. By season 10, Kennedy had resumed drinking again, picked up a new girlfriend weeks after his breakup with Leviss. They broke up and then he had a new girlfriend weeks afterwards? All of this caused untold harm to Leviss's mental health, inducing her to drink more and leaving her vulnerable to what followed. Leviss began confiding in Tom Sandoval, a former bartender at SUR and a cast member since the show's first season. Sandoval had been in a relationship with another cast member, Ariana Madix, since 2014. Yeah, we remember that. Imbibed and emotionally raw, Leviss began to heavily rely on Sandoval for emotional support. Sandoval, in return, began confiding in Leviss about the dire state of his relationship, describing it as a business partnership and casting its end as foregone. Notwithstanding, Madix and Sandoval had begun living in Valley Village, Los Angeles. On or about August 10, 2022, Leviss and Sandoval began sleeping together. The affair continued apace as Sandoval's relationship with Madix further deteriorated. Although purportedly secret, the affair was, in fact, well known to many cast members and suspected by others. Leviss and Sandoval were not particularly discreet. Leviss is informed and believes in on such information, and belief alleges that Madix knew about it as early as fall of 2022. I don't know if I believe this because I don't know. It seems like she was super pissed when she found the screen recordings on the phone. Indeed, in December of 2022, Madix scolded Leviss and Sandoval for being handsy in public. I mean, handsy could be, I don't know. I don't know if I buy this part. Admonishing them to save the story for season 11. Wait, so they're literally saying that Ariana knew about the affair and was like, hey, you guys, don't be too handsy in public because I want you to save for season 11. Why not just continue for season 10? I think at this point they stopped filming though, but oh my God, I don't know if I buy this. Okay, let's see. At the time, Vanderpump Rules was facing an uncertain future. Interest among the public had waned. The plot had grown stale. Yeah, I believe that. Madix in particular was reportedly on the chopping block. Was she? Oh, hold on a second. They cite, okay, the citation that they do in this complaint is so hilarious. This is like their citation here. Realityblurb.com. Report Ariana Madix was on the chopping block on Vanderpump Rules. I'm like, really? You're gonna cite like these like news articles, like tabloids? Really? Seriously? Anyways, she was on the chopping block. In the absence of a new sticky news storyline, there is every reason to believe Vanderpump Rules would have been canceled. Madix was as aware of these pressures as Sandoval, and both were heavily invested financially and reputationally in the show remaining on the air. By extension, if their relationship was already on the rocks, and if Sandoval was intent on brazenly carrying out an illicit affair with another cast member, they had every incentive to leverage these salacious threads into the storyline Vanderpump Rules so desperately needed. That is precisely what happened in a series of otherwise unlikely events. I feel like people would be so scared of being canceled that I don't know if they would do it in order to continue the Vanderpump TV show. Like, yes, like that's their main source, but he was also having he had like other business ventures as well, like the restaurant with Lisa Vanderpump. He had another restaurant with the other Tom who's on the TV show. I don't know if I buy that they were doing this on purpose just so they can boost the ratings of the show and get people interested again. We're going to need proof of this. All right, B. Sandoval and Madix record and distribute illicit videos of Leviss. On or about March 1, Sandoval was performing with his cover band at Tom Tom in West Hollywood when his phone purportedly fell from his pocket and slid, unlocked or otherwise fully accessible, into the crowd. It was reportedly retrieved by an attendee and handed over to Madix, who searched it and found sexually explicit videos of Leviss. So I saw, like, I think she said that she had a woman's intuition and something was just telling her to just check it, which I thought was very interesting. It's like your partner is on the stage performing. There's probably so much adrenaline going on. You're probably like, like, oh, cheering for him and all that stuff, which it looked like she was. But then you would just take the phone in that moment and just check it. I don't know. Very interesting. She must, I wonder if she had her suspicions, but she just didn't have an opportunity to ever check his phone, or yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. 24. Leviss' informant believes, and on such information belief alleges, that the explicit videos were recorded by Sandoval without her knowledge or consent in or around February 2023. So obviously it's going to be a battle between Tom and Rachel, or Raquel, Rachel. And he's going to say that, like, oh, I recorded this with your consent. I don't know. That's going to be a battle right there. The two videos Leviss has seen depict her in a state of undress and masturbating. However, given Sandoval's apparent practice of secretly recording their video call, Leviss has every reason to assume there are additional illicit videos and or photographs of her that she has not yet seen. Wait, so that sentence right there is kind of interesting to me. However, given Sandoval's apparent practice of secretly recording, okay, so I guess it's saying that, like, I thought it was saying that, like, oh, she knew that he usually, like, recorded things secretly. Never mind. I think I just read it differently. But it says apparent practice. Gotcha. Number 25. Leviss' informed believes, and on such information and belief alleges, that Madix obtained at least 2 illicit videos of Leviss. Apparently, I think she sent the videos to Rachel that night, and that's when she freaked out. When Rachel freaked out. And distributed them and showed them to others without Leviss' knowledge or consent. At a minimum, Madix circulated the illicit videos to herself and Leviss. Yeah, at a minimum. We don't know if she sent it to other cast members or production or anything like that, or to other people. She also was immediately informed production about what she had found In addition, many other individuals had demonstrated intimate familiarity with their contents, leading Leviss to believe the circle of recipients is wider. C. Leviss battered after Madix steals and sends illicit videos. Yeah, I don't know what this has to do with Ariana. Is this when, like, apparently Sheena may have punched her in the face? Yeah, I think so. Okay. On the night of March 1st, Leviss was in New York with another guest member, Sheena Shea, taping Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. While finished filming, Leviss and Shea were at a bar when Leviss received a text from Madix. "You are dead to me." Alongside the message were 2 videos of Leviss that Madix had purportedly discovered on Sandoval's phone. All right, I got that part right. Leviss experienced a swirl of emotions in response, including shock and fear. Shock because she did not know that Sandoval had recorded pornographic videos of her. Fear because these videos were now in the hands of someone who hated her guts and was out for blood. She was terrified Madix would leak them out on the internet. Apparently, it was like a screen recording of her and Tom FaceTiming each other. Initially, when I heard about this, I was like, oh, why didn't she just say that, like, oh, those are videos that I sent to James Kennedy a long time ago. Oh my God, how did it circulate to you? You know, she wanted to like cover her butt. But no, it was a FaceTime, and it's, you know, it's obviously her and Tom in there. Reacting to the revelation in apparent shock and anger, Shea violently assaulted Leviss, shoving her aggressively into a brick wall, punching her into the face, and throwing her phone into the street. The blow to Leviss's face caused a rupture above her left eyebrow, severe swelling, and bruising above her left eye. Leviss was told by a treating physician that her busted brow would permanently scar. I do wonder if she does have a permanent scar there. But there was on the episode on Vanderpump, Sheena, when she was like meeting up with Ariana, and I think what's that girl's name again? Katie was there, and some other friends were there. She started breaking down and crying. She was like, "Oh my God!" Like in my shock and in my anger, I pushed her against the wall, pushing Raquel against the wall. And I must have like accidentally scratched her with my fingernails or something because her head like hit the wall, and then like I just walked away. But I mean, I looked it up on the internet and we could see in the video as well. It looks like there's an apparent bruise, unless she used some makeup to, you know, create a bruise. But it looked like there was a bruise, and there's definitely like a scratch above the eye. But I don't know if that scratch looked deep enough in order to cause a scar. But I would just say, I don't know if I believe Sheena's story that she just pushed Raquel away and her fingernail just accidentally like scratched it, because it looked like there was a bruise there. And I know there was a scene where Sheena was like, "Look at how long my nails are. There's no way I can physically look at this. I can't physically make a fist. There's no way I could have punched her." I mean, like, I feel like your knuckles could still make contact and still bruise her eye, and then your long nails just happen to scratch her possibly. Like, you don't have to make like a fist, you know, like this. But yeah, I don't know if I believe Sheena's story. But at the same time, I don't know if I really believe Raquel that the injury was really as bad as like she's like purporting it to be, saying that like, oh, there's gonna be a permanent scar. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe there's pictures out there with a permanent scar, but it didn't look that bad to me. Shaken, Leviss flew home the next day and informed her family of what was happening. 29. News of the affair and its aftermath, dubbed SCANDOVAL, broke on March 3rd, 2023. Yep, it's been 1 month exactly. When TMZ first reported on the affair, the initial reporting was quickly followed by a torrent of follow-up stories. By March 4th, tabloids had already begun reporting on the pornographic videos of Leviss, citing unnamed sources. 30. Although filming for season 10 has already wrapped, Bravo and Evolution had a camera crew ready to shoot the next day. Oh God, I gotta milk that. 31. SCANDOVAL captured the public's attention in a massive way, went completely viral, and injected new life into Vanderpump Rules. Well, yeah, because you have Tom and Ariana. They've been together for almost a decade. Okay, almost a decade. And then all of a sudden, we hear that Tom had been cheating on her for like what, months with who? With Raquel. Raquel seems like, if you ever watched the TV show, Raquel seemed like the most innocent, sweetest girl ever, who just caught up into this LA life. It was just so wild to hear about that. And not only that, from what we've seen so far from all the footages, the biggest support of Tom Sandoval was always Ariana. Like, she was always by his side, defending him. And Tom's not really my favorite person. Neither Tom's are, but she was always there supporting him no matter what, and like appearing at his shows, the bars and all that stuff. Like, I just felt like she was there to support him. Like, maybe their love life was falling apart. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times when you have someone that's cheating in a relationship, in order to deflect that responsibility, they try to blame the other party members, say like, oh, our love life was like dying anyways. Like nothing was really going on. Like I get it. Like maybe that is true. Or maybe he's lying to cover his butt. You know, maybe behind the scenes, maybe him and Ariana were trying to work things out after all. I don't know. It also cost mayhem in Leviss's life, culminating in months-long inpatient treatment at a mental health facility and her departure from the show. Fomented by Bravo and Evolution in conjunction with the cast, Leviss was subjected to public skewering with little precedent and became, without exaggeration, one of the most hated women in America. Oh boy. Who else was known as one of the most hated women in America? Casey Anthony, Jodi Arias. Was Monica Lewinsky up there too? Probably her. On March 4, 2023, the day after news of the affair had broken, production directed Leviss to film with Sandoval at her LA apartment. Yep, I saw that. It was very awkward. It was actually kind of so... I bet you the audience, when they watched that, they hated her even more because... I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's all about the edits and the cuts, right? But the way that it was portrayed was that like, oh my God, these two lovebirds, poor them, they're the victims. And seeing how they were, I don't know, they were like kind of like sad about everything happening, but it was more like they were sad that they were caught and then they're kind of like giddy with each other and cuddly with each other. And it's like we would kiss, but like, oh, the camera's rolling. Oh, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I could see how the public saw that, was like, oh my God, we hate these two even more. But you know, edits, you never know. With cameras rolling, Leviss confronted Sandoval for secretly recording pornographic videos of her and storing them unprotected on his phone. Sandoval had not only invaded her privacy and breached her trust, but had also left her enormously vulnerable to a nightmare scenario of videos leaking on the internet. Sandoval responded to Leviss's fear with cowardice and lies, claiming falsely that he had obtained permission to record her. We didn't see any of this. Seeing that Leviss was having none of it, however, Sandoval ultimately offered a reluctant admission and a sheepish apology. Sandoval was clearly rattled. After filming ended, an erratic and unsettled Sandoval refused to leave Leviss's apartment in spite of her request. Leviss was forced to have her sister and brother-in-law pick her up and drive her to their home. Isn't this her apartment? That day, Leviss retained an attorney to mitigate the risk of illicit videos leaking. Once at her sister's home, Leviss turned off her phone for 2 days, hoping the heat would die down. No. However, media reports suggest Sandoval was in a panic over the on-camera confrontation with Leviss. Specifically, he was concerned that he was being accused of recording non-consensual pornography would paint him in a negative light. Sandoval purportedly threatened to cease all further filming for the show unless he was granted editing rights over the scene. Shockingly, Bravo and Evolution obliged his demand. The scene was selectively edited to omit any mention of Sandoval's illicit recording or Leviss's lack of consent. Yikes! This is why I'm also a little bit shocked that why did her legal team not include Bravo and Evolution? Was it because they're huge conglomerates and going after them would be very financially unwise, maybe? Maybe it's easier to go after like the small ones like Sandoval and Ariana. I'm just surprised that she didn't include Bravo and like Evolution on there as well. Maybe they would have settled with her. I don't know. Some of the things that they are, alleging sounds pretty bad. This was part of a pattern and practice of Bravo and Evolution throwing Leviss under the bus in favor of Sandoval. Recording someone engaged in sex acts without their consent is a crime, and Sandoval appears to have admitted on camera. Oh my God, if they have that footage still, if it exists. Portraying the confrontation as it actually occurred instead of protecting sleazy Sandoval would not only have been truthful, it would have been also good television. But Bravo and Evolution apparently decided that Leviss would be the sacrificial lamb. Throughout the ordeal, they have sanitized the story to ensure Leviss would have been seen as the arch villain. Oh boy. On March 7, Leviss's attorney sent out cease and desist letters to the cast regarding the distribution of the non-consensual illicit videos. Here's the thing. If I was Ariana and I saw those videos on Tom's phone, I would have probably thought that she was in on it. I would have thought that Raquel was in on it too. Like she was okay with having these videos recorded. Because like she probably wasn't really thinking about that. She was probably just thinking like, why the fuck? What the hell? What are you doing with my man? Are you fucking him or what? Right? The letters promptly leaked. Leviss also filed a police report and applied for a temporary restraining order against Shay. the cast member who assaulted her on March 1. Okay, so what I heard that was really interesting about this restraining order was that they were filming the reunion, but before that, she filed a restraining order against Sheena, who allegedly punched her or pushed her or whatever the fuck it was. But it was like, you're filing a restraining order, but then you're going to be going to the reunion where Sheena's going to be there. And I don't know what the judge would have thought about that. It's like, oh, like, why would you be near someone that you're so scared of? I don't know. I think at the end, didn't she end up retracting the restraining order? That way she can, that way, like, she was able to appear on the reunion. I just remember hearing about this like a year ago. Damn, time goes by so fast. Despite initially bragging about having punched Leviss, Shay began to adamantly deny it in public. She accused Leviss of lying and abusing the court system. This was in spite of Shay's own private and televised admissions of guilt and Leviss's visible facial injuries. Yeah, it looked like she had a bruise and a scratch. It looked a little bit swollen. By March 10th, Leviss had decided to check herself into a mental health facility. Sandoval, for his part, tried to talk her out of it. I feel like that's the thing. If you're getting canceled and people are going after you, either one, check yourself into a mental health facility, or two, you check yourself into like rehab. For his part, tried to talk her out of it and begged her to participate in the reunion. Leviss reluctantly agreed to wait on the condition that a mental health professional be on set in case things got out of hand. I don't know. She should have hired some bodyguards, okay? Given her fragile mental state and the theory brewing amongst the cast. Bravo agreed, then changed his mind. Leviss then requested her publicist and confidant, Juliet Harris, be permitted to attend. Bravo agreed, and then again changed his mind. I wonder why. By that point, the reunion was the next day, too soon for Leviss to pull out, and she had no reasonable alternative but to participate. Really? Couldn't she just be like, I'm not doing this. There's so much going on. She also feared the legal implications of refusing to appear given the draconian terms of her contract, and so she did so without the support she felt she needed and that Bravo had previously offered to provide. I mean, by then, she had already had an attorney hired to go after Sheena, and then also the cease and desist letter. She not have an attorney to talk about like, hey, like, what happens if I don't want to go on this reunion? Get me out of this. At the same time, press coverage was slanted decidedly against Leviss, who became the object of scorn and ridicule. Other cast members were vilifying her in interviews and waging a public campaign against her on social media. I mean, they also went after Tom as well. It wasn't just like she was the one who was at the hate of everything. It was her and Tom, and if I remember correctly, they also they went after Tom's restaurants, leaving like all these like negative reviews and stuff. Yeah. But, you know, what I find interesting now is that I found out that Tom Sandoval is still on the TV show. He's still on the TV show. But I wonder if they maybe extended the offer to Raquel to come back on the TV show. Maybe she refused. Possibly. I don't know. They could not have done so without the blessing of Bravo, which pre-approves all cast media appearances and exercises tight control over public messaging. I don't know if I believe that on social media. You're telling me that Bravo controls their like Twitter accounts, their Instagram. Bravo had clearly decided this feeding frenzy was good for ratings. Various cast members and Bravo itself also released their own Scandoval merchandise to cash in on the explosion of interest, including there's no way. I survived Scandoval oh my god, is that true? Hold on. Bravo merch, I survived Sandoval. They did not make merch out of this. Oh my. Oh no, they did. I survived Sandoval. Oh my lord. Okay, I mean, there's other merch as well, you know? Okay. Shop by show. Let's see what else they got. I did not know they had merch. Poo poo heads. I heard that someone called they called Raquel a poo poo head. I don't know who the hell that was. You look like a couch. Oh jeez. Okay. Well, yeah, they got merch. All right. I learned something. It is clear that Bravo deliberately sacrificed Leviss for the sake of its commercial interest from its refusal to allow her the opportunity to tell her side of the story and defend herself, which she repeatedly begged for permission to do. Huh. Do I believe that? That she really thought she couldn't tell her side of the story unless otherwise Bravo would go after her? I don't know if I believe that. Okay, anyways. Without exception, her pleas fell on deaf ears. As a result of the asymmetrical coverage, the public was not made aware of the extent to which Leviss was victimized by the ordeal or the toll it was taking on her mental state. Okay. I think even if Rachel came out during that time to tell her side of the story, I don't think she would have gotten any public sympathy. I think it's possible for people to go after Tom for one, the affair, and then for two, recording Rachel, I'm messing up her name. And recording Rachel like without her permission. I think he still could have got in trouble for both of those things. I think she would have got a little bit of like, oh, like, wow, that really sucked. That shouldn't happen to you. But still, the vitriol, the anger, it would have still been directed towards her because she was also the one who participated in this affair. And, apparently her and Ariana were considered like close friends, best friends. But I know later on, Rachel was like, oh, we weren't even friends. Like, we weren't even close like that. I don't know. I feel like for what we've seen of Ariana is that she's a very closely guarded person. She doesn't let people just into her inner circle. For her to refer to Raquel at the time as like a close friend of hers, I felt like that was like a pretty big deal. So I don't know. Maybe now, like maybe Rachel's trying to save face by trying to say like, oh, we weren't even close friends, like we just weren't. As the feeding frenzy reached a crescendo, Leviss was subject to a gag order. Oh, she was! Prohibiting her from discussing Sandoval's gross invasion of her privacy. Madix's vengeful response. Oh, can we see this gag order? Bravo's cover-up and the veracity of her allegations of physical assault against Shay, who was publicly calling her a liar, accusing her of playing the victim, and being falsely backed up by others. In sum, the rest of the cast savaged Leviss's reputation and lied about her in the press. Wait, so I'm just confused. Why is she not naming Bravo and what's the other one? Evolution in this lawsuit? Drumming up not only interest in Vanderpump, but also the hatred of her, Leviss herself was involuntarily silent, muzzled by Bravo for the sake of its ratings. While all of this may have been good for ratings, it was catastrophic for Leviss, the human being. Do we have to point that she's a human being? Everyone involved in this was a human being. I don't know. Were they? Who was forced into hiding and subjected to death threats directed at her family. Sandoval, on the other hand, received a developmental deal from Bravo for a job well done, along with the pay raise. Blech! Andy Cohen exploits Leviss's fragile mental state. As expected, the reunion was a train wreck for Leviss of epic proportions. That's right. I'm like, why did you go? I mean, hey, that makes for great TV. But I'm like, why did you go in the reunion? Why? With full knowledge of her then dire mental state, Bravo and Andy Cohen took no steps to mitigate Leviss's abuse, even as Cohen himself expressed concern about her mental health going on into the reunion. One fellow cast member, Katie Maloney, who had been openly threatening to light her on fire. I don't think Katie meant it literally. When you say like, I'm going to light you on fire, it's just like, I'm just going to put your ass on fire. But I don't think she meant it literally. Another Shay had violently assaulted her. Exactly. Wait, so why did she go to this reunion? During the reunion itself, Leviss was on the receiving end, of relenting missives. Diabolical, demented, subhuman. Who the fuck called her a poo-poo head? I haven't seen the reunion yet. Who called her a poo-poo head? F yourself with the effing cheese grater. Ouch. You effing suck. You're disgusting. And I wish nothing but the worst effing shit that could ever happen on a person on you. As she was berated, abused, dehumanized by the rest of the cast, above all, Madix, Leviss remained largely silent and stoic in apparent nature. I mean, Rachel is she's not a very aggressive person. From what I've seen with her in like the past couple of years of Vanderpump, I mean, I haven't really watched like the newest seasons or the newer seasons, but she seems like the type of person who's just like very chill, super submissive, and she would try to assert herself, but she always like didn't have the confidence to do so because she never felt smart in the room. She always felt like the dumb person. So yeah, I could see why she would just like kind of just sit there and take it all. Later, Cohen later remarked glibly that he did not know how long she would last on set. Yeah, I can see Eddie saying that. And chalked up to her parents' stoicism to being really medicated. Andy would say that. Listen, Andy be throwing the little jabs, okay? They're not little jabs, though. They're like They seem like little jabs, but they're like the insidious jabs, all right? But Cohen and Bravo already knew that Leviss was indeed medicated. They did. Something neither surprising or remotely funny in light of what was happening to her. Did she like disclose like, hey, by the way, I'm going to show up on set. I'm going to be heavily medicated, FYI? Bravo and Evolution sabotaged Leviss's recovery. By the time of the reunion, Leviss was utterly battered physically and mentally, and shortly thereafter, she checked into a mental health facility and remained there for 3 months. Even in treatment, however, Leviss could not escape from the claws of Bravo and Evolution. She was warned repeatedly by them not to breach her confidentiality obligations, which contain no exceptions for medical treatment or therapy. Sorry, when I get hungry, it's really hard for me to read. As a result, Leviss was fearful of her facing legal repercussions for her honestly and was forced to walk on eggshells. This caused her extreme stress and severely stunted her progress in treatment. Unfortunately, that did not stop the vitriol. When Leviss checked into treatment, she gave her dog Graham to her parents for safekeeping. Graham was traumatized by years of abuse at the hands of Kennedy and was not an easy dog to manage. Oh. After a number of incidents, including one in which he bit Leviss's mom down to the bone, and isn't this like a little tiny dog, like a little like poodle dog or something? Caused her permanent nerve damage. Keeping Graham became untenable. Leviss's family handed over to a no-kill rescue organization and requested his discretion given the intense public scrutiny of Leviss. Instead of rehoming Graham as promised, the rescue organization, knowing full well that Kennedy had a history of animal abuse, how would they know that he had a history? I mean, unless, I guess from watching the TV show, but specifically animal abuse, how would they know that? Contacted Lisa Vanderpump, who gave Kennedy back? Oh my God, who gave Graham back to Kennedy? No, they did not. What? Okay. Seems pretty odd. Oh, I hope Graham is doing okay. Where's Graham at? All of them, with Bravo's blessing, then seeded a false and malicious narrative that Leviss had tried to get the dog put down. Oh no. At around this time, rumors were circulating, also seeded by Bravo and the cast, that Leviss was actually on vacation and had faked her hospitalization. I did hear about that, actually. I did hear about that part. Illustrating the depth of its moral turpitude, Bravo refused to publicly acknowledge that Leviss was, in fact, in inpatient mental health treatment, presumably for fear such disclosure would undermine the storyline. I mean, would they be allowed to verify that she was in inpatient mental health treatment? But I guess her publicist did announce it like publicly, right? Like, hey, she's checked into a mental health facility, guys. Like, lay off. Not only would they not do so, they prohibited Leviss through her publicist from doing so. Oh, all this caused even more public. Wait, really? Wait, I don't know if I believe that. All this caused even more public scorn of Leviss, further unjustified harm to her reputation, and increased threats to her and her family's public safety. It was the physical safety. In short, Leviss has been battered and broken irrevocably in the service of a salacious storyline. Unsurprisingly, Bravo and Evolution badly wanted her to return to season 11. However, it was abundantly clear that they completely failed to understand or appreciate the toll SCANDOVAL had taken on her. They warned her, unironically, that she must return to... Wait, no. They warned her unironically that she must return to avoid having her story told by others, and reaffirmed her prohibition against speaking to the press on her own terms. But the depth of her mistreatment in season 10 went far beyond what is acceptable, even in reality television. I don't know if I believe that, like, she really thought she wasn't allowed to speak out on her own. Because, like, don't a lot of these cast members, don't they all, like, tweet stuff, post things on Instagram, comment? And then in addition, I think a lot of them had podcasts where they just seem to talk whatever the F they want. You're telling me that all of this is being controlled by Bravo? I can believe, like, maybe, like, the general scheme of it being controlled by Bravo, but, like, I don't know if I believe that she couldn't say anything. I don't know. Maybe it's true. But the depths of her mistreatment in season 10 went far beyond what is acceptable, even in reality television. Okay. And Leviss knew that returning to the show meant risking a descent back into the depths of despair from which she had emerged. Yeah, it's a good thing she didn't come back. It would have made for good television, but it's a good thing she didn't come back. Meanwhile, everyone else got what they wanted. Lisa Vanderpump remains on the air. Oh, Vanderpump Rules remains on the air, continuing to milk the storyline Leviss catalyzed. Sandoval emerged significantly higher pay. I wonder how much he's getting paid now. And a development deal with Bravo. Madix has become a bona fide darling of pop culture. Has a new boyfriend and is starring on Broadway. Oh, God. The way they're wording this makes it seem like... Well, I guess they did literally say this, that, like, they're saying that Ariana knew about this way and months before, and she told them to save it for the season 11. And that now Ariana is the one who, like, you know, gets to leave this unscathed because she's now loved. She was seen as a victim. She has a new boyfriend. She's starting on Broadway. Like, she's allowed to leave with some positives, you know? Like, yeah, her 9-year relationship has been destroyed. She's in this lawsuit with Tom Sandoval. I think they're talking about the sale of the house, and like she'd had to live with him for months, and maybe, like, I don't know if they're still living together. I don't know. It's like, yes, we're focusing on the positives with Ariana, but like, think of like how much this has destroyed her life. Like, it's crazy. It's wild. Anyways, for Leviss, the future is less rosy. She brings this suit to vindicate her legal rights, if not restored her sullied reputation. Yeah, I mean, the video recording thing, pretty fucking bad, Tom. Pretty fucking bad. But I don't know how, I mean, if it's true, I don't know how she's going to prove that. I guess if there is a footage that Bravo has where Tom admits to it and then he apologizes, that could really help her case. But Tom could just come out and say, like, oh, I only apologize in the moment just to make her feel better. Maybe. Yikes. Leviss and Sandoval engaged in numerous private and confidential video conference communications from 2022 to 2023. Unbeknownst to Leviss and without her consent, Sandoval surreptitiously recorded their communications. Leviss had an objectively reasonable expectation that these communications were private and objectively believed that they were not being recorded. Oh, I remember in the episode, Tom Sandoval said that he forgot to delete those because it was such a busy day. There were so many things happening. Things were going crazy. And he forgot to delete it. At no point prior to the confidential communications were Leviss informed that Sandoval was recording their communications, nor did Sandoval obtain Leviss's consent to be recorded. Yeah, if this is true, it is so fucking shitty. Leviss seeks all available remedies, including statutory damages, actual damages, injunctive relief, and equitable relief. Also seeks to recover her attorney fees and costs. Yeah, I think I'm just going to kind of browse through this because it kind of just repeats everything. Leviss informed believes, and on such information and belief alleges, that Madix obtained the videos of Leviss from Sandoval's mobile phone and distributed and disseminated them to others, including but not limited to Leviss herself, Leviss, and other individuals whose identities are not currently known to Leviss. Yeah. It seems like this would be a way for them to find out in discovery whether or not Ariana disseminated this video to other people, other cast members. All right, I think this is all pretty much the same thing. Infliction of emotional distress. Yeah, I'm actually just really surprised that it was only including Ariana and Tom. I'm surprised it doesn't have Bravo and, I don't know, Eddie Cohen, I guess, and Evolution. All right, interesting. Well, let's see the response. We'll see the attorneys for Ariana and Tom Sandoval. I'm sure they'll have a response to this. And when they do, I will definitely check it out. All right, y'all. That's it for today. Thank you so much for stopping in. Hope you guys have a good weekend and take care. I'll see you guys this week. We've been watching the Hannah Reid trial. It's going to end this week. Closing arguments should happen, I think, on Thursday or Friday. Whew. Time is just going by so fast, y'all. Alrighty. Have a good one. Bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. See ya.